exclusive news. Liam Lawson is going to be replaced by Yuki Tsunoda. Just 2 races in. That is absolutely bonkers. How he's only got 2 races? This is a big 2. Oh my God, that's what he's been given, a big 2. It's like, what in the world is going on? How is 2 races? The tracks he's never raced at before. If you're a Lawson fan, you must be absolutely fuming. I am not, and I've said openly many times, Yuki should have been given that seat. He's now will be given that seat. But when he's looking at what's happened with Liam Lawson, does he want that seat? Who wants this poison chalice? The grave digger of a seat, isn't it? Was it grave digger? Is that even the right phrase? I'm not sure, but you know what I mean. It's awful. Liam Lawson, just 2 races in, 2 tracks he's never been raced at. Australia, his home race. It was raining. It was always going to be a difficult one for the rookies. He qualified 18th, didn't finish, and then in China, his performances weren't great at all. With the 2 qualifying sessions, qualified last. In the race, he was absolutely nowhere in both sprint or the qualifying for the main race either. So, is there enough data? They matched Yuki Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, head-to-head test. They went with Lawson. 2 races in. How can you get anything from 2 races? 2 races he's never raced at, ever, in a Formula 1 car. And I thought, really? 2 races? I mean, I keep saying 2 races because it's shocking. I've never seen a driver come in modern era can just have 2 races at a team. Now, he's lucky because of what Red Bull are. They've got a sister team and effectively just going to jump back straight into that. Have Red Bull admitted another mistake from them to give Liam Lawson this seat so early doors? Absolutely, it's got to lie with Red Bull. It's not got to go on Liam Lawson's door. This is no way it can happen. Liam Lawson, a young guy, he got 11 races with the Racing Bulls, and really, in all seriousness, that Racing Bulls seat needs to, they need to just be given time in that racing seat before they graduate them. And Yuki Tsunoda was that man, should have been that man. And if he goes on and fails, I expect him to really struggle also. This car is difficult to drive. Yuki Tsunoda is not just going to go out there and smash it out of the park. He's had 0 testing. He's had no time in that car. He had 1 test at the end of last season. In an attempt to get that seat, he drove well. The engineers reported apparently so at the time that they were happy with Yuki's feedback, really impressed with him, and he did a good job. But they gave Lawson the nod because he had the grit, spit, and fight to just bit of Madagascar quote for you there. But yeah, he had that grit and spit and fight, and just absolutely tear that seat down and get rid of all the dodgy number 2, difficult car to drive, labels that have been thrown at Red Bull about that seat all this time. And it's lasted just 2 races. Yes, I keep saying it, but it's absolutely mind-boggling. I feel sorry for Liam Lawson. There's going to be a lot more scrutiny on him, but will it be the right thing for him to do? Absolutely yes. And that's the good thing about it, because that Racing Bulls car it's much tameable, it looks easier to drive, and they have been quick. So there's a good chance he can go back into that seat. He was there last season, so he'll go straight back into the car. Not completely new to him, so he can go in there and impress and show. And I don't imagine he'll go in there and beat Yuki Tsunoda this weekend, because it's a car that he's driven a lot more, he's more comfortable with, and it's faster this year than it was last year. Don't get me wrong, it'll be difficult still, but he's got more in common with the Racing Bulls car than he has with the Red Bull car, is Liam Lawson, because he's just 2 races in it. So he definitely can go back and get his career back on track. But is that him done? We've seen Alex Albon go off and do brilliantly well after Red Bull, but in a different stable, and he's got his chance at Williams, and he's grasped it and he's shown what a great driver he is. Will Liam Lawson need to do the same now? Will he be given that chance? Pierre Gasly, another one, got 12 races, and then got the boot, and he had to go elsewhere. He got his seat in Alpine, and he's shown what a great driver he is. Is that Liam Lawson done at Red Bull now? big questions to be asked. Potentially not. I think the big one here really is Yuki Tsunoda. Can he go in? He has to have to the end of the season. I don't know who else you put in there if you then turn around after a handful of races and Yuki struggling. Red Bull have to just take responsibility. It's been a difficult car to drive for the second driver if you're not Max Verstappen, just because of how sensitive he likes the front end of that car. It's just like Albon said it now, the famous quote, if it's like the mouse on super sensitivity and you flick it and it's going all over the screen, and that's how sensitive that front end of that car is. And the more and more it is like that, the faster Max Verstappen gets, and he's their number one driver. He's the one that they want in that seat to be made world champion. There's no two ways about it. So if you're the second driver, lump it or loathe it or do one is effectively is what's going to happen to you. We've seen that, where they tried it with the young guys, Gasly, Albon. They struggled. They went back. Then Sergio Perez came in, did a decent enough job for 1-2 years, but then it just got progressively worse after that. I mean, like I said, with him, 18 months, he really struggled with that Racing Bull, Red Bull, to see why he just couldn't get to grips with it. Liam Lawson's lasted 2 races. Yuki Tsunoda, a brilliant talent, but has he got a better chance than Lawson? I believe absolutely he has. He's had more experience in Formula One. He's had his time. He's proven over the 4 years he's been at Racing Bulls that he's a good, very, very good driver. He's beaten every team that's lined up against him, Liam Lawson included. Despite Lawson getting the peg up and giving the seat earlier than he probably should have. That decision now, when you look at it being replaced 2 races later into the season, proves absolutely that. Now, what can Yuki do? Well, he's just got to put all that behind him of what's happened past, and just look at him. And I think he's such a self-assured, great driver. I love Yuki Tsunoda, so I'd absolutely to love him to go in and absolutely smash it out the park here. Don't expect him to do that because I think it will be difficult for him also. But what an opportunity for him. He's got 4 races, who knows how many races he's got. He should have to the end of the season. And this was the breakthrough one, wasn't it? Christian Horner saying actually Yuki's been in that Racing Bull seat for far too long. He's holding up the other young drivers potentially that can come through. We've got that young kid, young Lingblad, who's really highly rated by Christian Horner. So, there's other kids up there. Isaac Hadjar's come in and actually he's done a good job. Despite the embarrassing comments from Helmut Marko, the only embarrassment thing here is the chopping and changing Liam Lawson after 2 races, Mr. Marko. So, Isaac Hadjar here has actually done a very, very good job, I think. He's quick in qualifying. He's got 1 lap pace, which, like I said before, you can't teach the racecraft. He's done okayish. But that will come also with experience and time, and same with race management. But you need to show you've got raw pace as a young rookie. Him, Bortoletto, both done that. And we've got also rumours, could we see Franco Colapinto go back in there? Rumours are that Williams have kind of got him backed up. They expect Carlos Sainz to leave for a bigger team potentially, and then they've got Franco there to parachute him back into that team. Their hope is that actually he gets a seat at Alpine and Jack Doohan can breathe a sigh of relief, because he pretty much was tipped by almost the whole paddock to be the first man out of his seat, and it's Liam Lawson in the Red Bull. I mean, I am so shocked at this. Really, I just cannot believe that he's only lasted 2 races. It's absolutely mind-boggling. But that's the news that was reported by the Telegraph, the Dutch newspaper outlet. Also reported by another Dutch outlet after that. Now popped up on Sky Sports News, Racing News, Planet F1, you name it, any publications out there. Effectively saying this is done. We expect the official announcement on Thursday, which was the day that everyone sort of expected this team meeting to happen, of Red Bull getting together and deciding will Liam Lawson keep his seat in that Red Bull F1 team. Well, it came earlier than that, didn't it? They couldn't wait around. They obviously want to see if he can get that seat. in Japan, because Honda keen to get Yuki Tsunoda, who fund Yuki Tsunoda into that seat at the tune of about £10 million a year. They give Red Bull for Yuki to have that seat. Actually said, if you give Yuki Tsunoda the seat for this season, we'll give you £10 million. Rumours are that earlier in this season, so the doubts on Liam Lawson crept in really quite early. They went back to Honda and said, that 10 million you mentioned to get Yuki in a seat, the extra 10 million on top of the 10 million you already give us, is that still on the table? Yeah, we'd kind of like some of that, potentially. And they've said yes, because the big one for them is the Japanese Grand Prix, and if you can get him in there for that, a Japanese driver in Red Bull, in a Honda, just ticks a lot of boxes for them as an outfit, and they're pumping a lot of money, I've said, into their young driver program, and they need to show they've got some talent if they're right at the forefront. And having Yuki Tsunoda in the number one Red Bull team is a massive tick box for them. You can't that's my phone going off, rookie mistake, didn't put it on silent. And he ticks all the absolute boxes for Honda to do that. So it'll be massively interesting to see what and where they, how that pans out on the financial side of things. But they've said yes, we'll the offer's still kind of on the table. I'm sure it'll be a little bit less now. There's 2 races gone, but and that's been a big one. They convened in Dubai on Thursday. Did the Red Bull hierarchy, Christian Horner, the owner of Red Bull, Helmut Marko, and I'm sure there's other guys there as well, and the decision was effectively made there. Yet to be announced to Liam Lawson, so he found out this through the news reports, which is Red Bull have dropped the plan on this, or dropped the ball on this one a little bit, haven't they? They've literally just sort of said, they've done it with Red Bull. The send-off there was awful. News of Sergio Perez was out before. Perez probably knew it as well. So it's just not been handled well, their PR side, and that's not really like Red Bull. That's their big thing. That's what they were so brilliant at when they came into Formula One, was the PR side, was the way that they handled all these things, and they were a real slick operation on that side of front, so they won't be happy about that. But who cares as an F1 fan, really, when you get an explosive news like this? Absolutely outstanding, shocking news. Liam Lawson out, back into the Racing Bull seat. No doubt he will do well from there. I don't personally doubt that at all, and I can actually potentially even see him beating Yuki Tsunoda in that new Red Bull seat this weekend. And Yuki Tsunoda, what an opportunity. I'm so happy that this guy gets this chance, because had he come the end of this next season and not really been given the opportunity to show what he's got in that Red Bull outfit, would have been really disappointing for me, because he's been the man. He was brilliant last couple of years. He's really narrowed down the aggression over the team radio that was putting off Helmut Marko and Christian Horner. His racecraft, he's really refined that. He's bringing home the car, and he would have had some really good points this season, but for 2 absolutely shocking Racing Bull strategy calls. The Australian one, understandable. The second pit stop in China, unforgivable really, and that's really cost Yuki, and he'll be going into a much slicker outfit in Red Bull. They don't really tend to make mistakes like that at the big team. So if he can carry on that form, he's been the form man for out of the 3 par Max Verstappen, the remaining 3 guys in a Red Bull car. He's been the form man, and he's beaten every teammate, like I said before, that's been put up against him, and really hope he absolutely smashes out of the park, because if he does, because his contract is up at the end of the year, will he get that seat from there onwards? I mean, it's all his to literally open and grab with 2 hands. What an opportunity for Yuki. I'm so glad he's got it. He really does deserve it. As much as Liam Lawson did deserve it to some extent, not in my eyes particularly, but he's done really well in the junior formulas coming up. He was better than Yuki in all of them. He was ranked higher than, you can look back at the books and that's what it is, but Yuki got the seat in Racing Bulls before Liam Lawson did, and he's done his time, and that's crucial in Formula 1, as he's now found out, just 2 races in. And the big comments were, when he lost that confidence, and we're seeing that with Alex Albon. He said, once you lost the confidence, you're driving harder, and the harder you drive it, the more you're losing it, and it spirals out of control, and it just goes downhill from there. So, sad day for Liam Lawson fans, Yuki fans. Yuki-san, absolutely, what an incredible chance for him. Can't wait for him to see him in that dark blue suit. It'll be early on Thursday next week, so they'll be busy prepping him in for a race seat fit for a Red Bull car, and Liam Lawson getting back another seat fit for the new Racing Bull cars, because obviously he's only had a race fit for the old one. Don't imagine much change on that side of things, but all the promos and everything like that. Yuki-san in a Red Bull in Japan would be massive for them and for Honda, and imagine the promos and everything like that will be absolutely huge. There's a run in Tokyo with Red Bull through the streets of Tokyo in a Red Bull on the Wednesday, so I imagine Yuki-san will be absolutely blowing that city apart, and if he can get that seat and he would be the one parading around in a Red Bull in his home country, it'll be an absolute tremendous story. So official confirmation yet to be announced, but by the time I've probably recorded and edited and put this video up, it might have already happened, but potentially should be on a Thursday. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. As always, this video has beaten out my video on the driver ratings video. That will be coming shortly, so watch out for that. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment. As always, see you in the next one.